Hello everyone, I'm Pat and welcome to yet another video in the jam space. That's right, this was shot 5 minutes after the warm-up video. That's why I'm wearing the same cool NASA t-shirt and the setup is exactly the same. If you haven't seen that video, I highly recommend watching it. It's in the description or in this thing. Is it here? I'll know from now on. It's right here. If not, I'll know that it's with my left hand from now on. Anyway, you can go ahead and watch that, maybe build your own warm-up routine. Really cool video. I hope it helps a little bit. And this one is about to help even more because this is the harmony deep dive, the absolute basics. Let's do this. So if you've seen any of my videos, if you're a new subscriber or anything like that, you know that I like to do couch tip videos and then I like to do deep dives. You've heard the sort of high-level tips and everything, but if you've never sung harmony, this is what this deep dive is for. Tip number 4, I believe, in that video was to practice. And this is what we're sort of going to cover today. I'm going to show you a good way to practice, which is in your DAW, whether it be Logic, Pro Tools, FL Studio, whatever you use. If you can record your voice in a multi-track format, you can sort of start singing harmonies. So let's go right into Logic. I'm already recording my voice right now, but basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to start singing a melody, and then right away we're going to try and harmonize it. For the sake of keeping it simple, I'm going to sing in C, like this, and it's a good idea to sort of sing the scale first and sort of sing the arpeggio so you can have a good idea of what you can do. So let's go ahead. Da 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 da. I know that I'm in C. I know what notes are sort of available in C major. And the chords, basically the first chord, the C major chord, is this. Da da da. So it's C, E, and G. C, E, G. If I want to play all 4 notes, da 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 da. C major 7 would be this. Da 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 na. And then C7 would be this. Da 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 da. And if you want, you can sing all these chords and just try to figure out, where you are. We're just going to use one chord today because this is the absolute basics. I'm going to come up with a melody on the spot. I hope it sounds okay. Let's see what happens. I'm singing a really nice melody. See? Works. Super simple. We're going to use that and try to harmonize that on that C chord. So one of the most common harmonies that you're going to find is a third above. Because we're in major now, it's going to be a major third above. So the melody that I sung goes like this. Right? Something like that. If I want to sing a third above, I'm going to sing starting on the E. And that is a parallel movement. I'm going to stick to that interval, that major third, and sort of always follow that. Let me show you what that sounds like. I'm singing a really nice melody. You see, I sort of stayed. It's kind of high. I should have went a little bit lower, but I used my head voice, and I stayed at that same interval. So the original was, I'm singing a really nice melody. And then I went a third above, which is, singing a really nice melody. That is super common. Think of any song, like any melody, like, I've got another confession to make. And then you can sing a third above that. I've got another confession to make. And you can sing with Dave Grohl if you want, if there are no harmonies there. You can try that if you listen to the radio. Try to think a third above and try to harmonize. That's really a good exercise. If you're listening to music or if you're driving in your car, running or anything like that, try to sing that harmony. That's a really good first step to singing harmony. So now I'm going to recreate that same example, but a little bit lower so that I can sing a fifth above. I'm going to use the fifth. Let's see what happens now. I'm singing a very nice melody. Now let's do the third above. I'm singing a very nice melody. So you see, I pretty much stayed on the third above. Let's listen to that one more time. Singing a very nice melody. Now let's go ahead and try to sing the fifth above. I'm singing a very nice melody. Now, in my opinion, it's not that nice. I stayed in the same sort of interval. I made sure that I was always singing a fifth above. But it's starting to sound kind of weird. And the reason why it sounds weird, it's because it's always parallel. Personally, I don't like that. Let me show you a trick that I love doing when I'm singing that fifth above.
I'm singing a very nice melody.
So what I did there is that I stayed on that fifth and created a different set of intervals. I'm singing a very nice melody. And that sort of helps when you're singing harmony. If you have someone singing the third, they can follow along pretty much all the time, follow the melody. But if you're singing above, I like to do pedals, which is staying on a single note, or basically moving around, but not that much. So you can experiment with that if you're at ease with singing the third above, then go to the fifth, which was for me a challenge. It's really hard for me to just follow the same chord because it feels so unnatural. It feels kind of weird. And then once you've done that a couple times, try staying on that same note. Na, 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 na. And you'll see that it starts sounding nicer. It's, in my opinion, more melodic and doesn't sound as weird. So we've done the melody, we've done a third above, and a fifth above. Let's see what other things we can do just by using the same chord that we've been using. So let's try singing an octave below. We're going to take the same melody and see how that sounds. At this point, we have 4 parts. We're making a vocal layer cake. Let's try it.
I'm singing a very nice melody.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, right? It's not mixed, it's super dry, and it kind of sounds like crap, but you get the idea. I have a melody, a third above, a modified fifth, and then I've also sung the melody an octave below. Now that we've done that, let's try the whole thing in minor. It's a really good exercise to do things both in major and minor, because unless you're in a super duper happy band, you're not always going to sing harmony in major. So let's do another melody, this time in minor, and we'll try to harmonize that as well. This melody is super sad. Right? That works. That's fun. All right, let's go ahead and harmonize that. It's going to be a third above, but remember, because we're in minor, it has to be a minor third above. Let's record that.
This melody is super sad.
That is the third above. It's kind of confusing to sing because if you sing that on its own, it sounds major. Na, 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 na. It sounds nice, but over that melody, we're still in minor. Now that we've done that, let's go ahead and try to sing the fifth.
This melody is super sad.
I think I did an okay job there, but it's really hard to sing that. Going like, this melody is super sad. It really doesn't feel natural to me for the same reasons I spoke about earlier. Let me instead sing what I would normally sing if I had to sing this harmony.
This melody is super sad.
So in this case, I didn't exactly follow all the lines. What I did instead is that I did something that resembles more the harmonic minor mode. So that seventh that you heard that goes na 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 na, that sounds like it's in major, but it's still in minor. That's part of the harmonic minor mode, basically. So I thought it was a lot more interesting to do that. What's really sort of challenging, and in the end a good exercise for me too to be doing this, is that I don't normally harmonize exactly like this. But in this video I wanted to show you sort of the basics of on one chord, sort of figuring out what essentially is singing harmony. That third, that fifth above. Super basic beginner stuff, but if you've never done it before, I'm sure that at this point you probably have a better understanding of what it actually means to sing harmony. So before I end this video and we move on to more advanced stuff, let's quickly recap what we've done so far. We settled on one single chord that we were going to harmonize. In this case, the easiest chord there is C major. So I sung a melody that just stayed on that chord pretty much. I went, I'm singing a really nice melody. And I sung that melody starting on a C on purpose so that we can easily find the third above, in this case, an E. So it went, I'm singing a very nice melody, or something like that. This is one of the most common harmonies you're going to find out there. So it's a really, really good exercise to practice that third above. Once I had recorded that third above, we did the fifth. The fifth is really hard to nail if you want to follow that same interval structure. If you want to do that parallel movement, really make sure that every note that you sing is either a third above or a fifth above. It's kind of hard to pull off because it doesn't sound natural, at least not to me. So if it went, I'm singing, the third above went, na 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 na, and then the fifth above, na na na, it went, na 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 na. Whatever it was, you get the point. So you can go ahead and do that melody, do that third, do that fifth. And I found myself, even by making this video, that's sticking to that sort of parallel movement I've been talking about, where all the notes are moving together. It's a really, really good exercise to train your ear and train your voice. It doesn't sound natural or melodic or even musical, but if you're doing an exercise, the point is not necessarily to make nice music, it's to get better at what you're trying to achieve. If you're recording yourself, you're recording back vocals and stuff, you can record that lead vocal, make sure it's at a nice level, and then those back vocals usually have to be mixed a little bit softer, but we'll cover that in yet a more advanced video where I'm actually going to show you the way I love to record back vocals, how I mix them, pan the vocals, arrange them, and all that super interesting stuff. So I think if you've never sung harmony before in your life, this is a good starting point. It's super basic and beginner, but you can sit down at the piano or on your DAW, record or sing a melody, try recording something, and then just try doing it. But I think if you start there, if you have time to practice and really record yourself and do it over and over again, that will be a good foundation to start singing harmony. But that is it for this video, the first deep dive on singing harmony, the absolute basics. If you liked this introduction to harmony, you can go ahead and click the like button. If you want to see the next steps, more advanced harmony stuff, and also my technique, I encourage you to subscribe. I try to post videos every week on making music, being a musician, and sort of throwing ideas and tips out there to other people to try and see if we can all become better musicians. If you want an even longer form, audio-only version of what I do, I have a podcast. It's called Pat Flanigan's Jam Space. It's on anchor.fm/Pat Flanigan. It's also on Apple Podcasts, Pocket Cast, and a bunch of other platforms. You can go ahead, subscribe to it. Again, I try to have a podcast every week on there. I cover some of the same subjects, but with a different take on it. Longer form, audio only. You should check it out. You can hit me up on Twitter and Instagram at @NotPatFlanigan. And finally, if you want to be an absolute trooper, you can go ahead and support me on Patreon, patreon.com/Pat Flanigan. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope that it helped you in any way. Let me know in the comments below if it did. If it didn't, if you have any ideas, let me know in the comments. Thank you again for watching. I'll see you next time.
When did you make up your